Hi you guys, my name is Guru Shakia and welcome to my beautiful channel. Um, Today is going to be more of a serious topic. I know what I titled this was incest, sexual assault, and rape. Um, it's not really going to be more so going into details of those categories, but more so this video is for the people who have experienced these traumas or experienced these things for themselves. Um, Trying to see. Well, first of all, I want to tell you guys. I understand that a lot of you guys may not be open about expressing your experiences just yet, or the fact that this has happened to you. So I'm just gonna hopefully uh, try to touch on as much bases as I can. As far as what I've been thinking about lately about these categories and what happens after these things take place, and kind of just like documenting my own journey and hoping that it helps you guys out. Um, but first, I want to say that it's never, if this has happened to you, it's never your fault. If this has happened to someone close to you, it's not their fault. It's never the victim's fault. Which I kind of want to stop calling people who survive these instances victims, because you guys are, and I am a survivor. Um, so yeah, they just wanted to touch on that. So get that out of your head. It's never your fault that this has happened to you. Now, a lot of times what happens, and I touched on this before in a previous video, but maybe some of you guys missed it, or maybe you didn't understand, or maybe you just never got around to it. A lot of what happens when these instances take place um, is we start forming shame and guilt around our sexuality as a human being, which is very unfortunate because a lot of what has to do with our confidence levels, our ability to even succeed in the physical realm, to the ability to even express ourselves to our fullest potential, has to do with our sexual energy, our sexual center, our sacral chakra. And when that energy center is tainted or torn or broken, it's very hard to manifest your dreams, even to enjoy sex, to just be comfortable in who you are. Sex, like sex and your sexuality, isn't 100% who you are, but it is a huge part of who we are, because we are sexual beings. And if we're not comfortable with our sexuality, we aren't comfortable a lot of times in ourselves. Um, and we wonder why a lot of sexual assault victims, rape victims, incest victims, all these people have problems with confidence and owning who they are sexually. Now, something that I took upon myself, and I'm no doctor. If you guys, of course, if you want to see a therapist, things of that nature, by all means do so. But in my own journey, as far as like what I chose to do right now, um, as far as dealing with that shame and guilt, what I feel is the best thing to do is to actually own your sexuality. And now it seems very productive, um, and it will even feel bad, but it's a matter of taking your body back. Because a lot of times when these things happen to us, we had something taken from us. Basically, our body was not used for our own purposes anymore. Someone decided in that moment of time in our life that it was for them when it wasn't. And so when that happens to us in our mind, we start thinking that our bodies are unsafe. It's not even ours anymore. So we start to cover up, for example. We start to believe that everyone else outside of us can tell us what to do with our bodies, for example. And really, no one has any fucking say. So really, it comes a time where we have to exercise and come back to feeling that our bodies are our own and that it's safe to be in again. And really, this is going to take a lot of practice. And of course, you can, like I said, you can have the help of therapists if you feel the need, or group support, or whatever you may do. But as far as, I think the number one thing we can do is realize how we feel. Like maybe we feel shameful around sexuality now, or we feel like our bodies don't belong to us. Or we do start feeling shameful, especially in instances where maybe the rapist or the person, it could happen with someone close to you, a family member, for example. We can feel dirty and shameful because of course, you're not supposed to be having sex with your family members. But if something has happened to you in that way, you start feeling guilty, which we have to understand that it's no reason for us to feel guilty and ashamed because it is not something that we willingly did. It is something that happened to us. And just because who did it, it still does not put the shame or guilt on you. And we should never allow the person who did this to us to get away with all this shit. It is something that they have to deal with. It is their karma. And we have to understand that when every day when we're hard on ourselves, feeling shameful, feeling guilty, holding our head low or whatever, we're giving these people victory. Like, they did this to us, but yet we carry this baggage every day of our life. There's going to come a point where we have to take our power back. Not to say like these people should not, again, I'm saying it again, it's not like we're taking the blame off of them. It's actually, we have to become comfortable with ourselves again, our sexuality, things of that nature, in order to thrive, and to become who we are truly meant to be, these sexual awesome beings, even to be able to express ourselves. In another video, I also said that a lot of us lose our voices, and we have to learn how to be comfortable in our own opinions and taking our voice back, because again, something was taken from us, and a lot of us feel like, oh, it should have, oh, it's me. A lot of us don't even want to speak up that it happened to us because we feel like, who would care anyway? And trust me, you matter. Like, if you have people in your life who have, maybe, if you're like me, I brought this shit up to my mom many ways that I could, but was shunned off of me. But if you are if you're like that, if you've been trying to tell people around your life that something happened to you and they're just like, oh no, honey, you're just imagining things, or belittling your experience or not acknowledging it at all, by all means, get the fuck out of there. Because you are worthy, your experience matters, and you need someone to be there to tell you that it's valid. Not belittle it and no, shit doesn't happen. I've had many people say many things that you'll just be disgusted. And you wonder, like, what the fuck is wrong with the world? And if you understand rape culture and why rape is okay in the type of societies we live in, especially if you had things happen to you within circumstances where it is someone close to you, a friend or relative or someone you knew. A lot of times studies show that a lot of these things happen with people who are close to you, not just random people, even though those happen too. I'm sure I have people watching this that happens, you know. But trust me, shit doesn't just happen. It can happen within people you know. And your feelings are valid, and you deserve to be around people who, you know, who tell you it's valid, who is going to sit there and talk through it with you, who is going to understand and sympathize with you, because it's not your fault again. But a lot of times it's a lifelong journey from that point on to take our power back, our voice back, by speaking openly about what happened to us. It may not be something you feel like you're strong enough to do right now, but slowly but surely, if you journal about it, if you reach out to a therapist, if you reach out to a friend that you can count on, for example. Another thing, owning your sexuality. Some practices that I do to own my sexuality is you don't have to always be in a sexual way, like just touching yourself and becoming familiar with your body, like becoming comfortable with being a sensual being. Masturbating could be one. Teaching yourself that it's okay to own your sexuality again in that sense. What's another? Dancing, wine dancing for women. African dancing, anything that helps you get in your body, yoga, all of these things. But I make it a point to dance every day. Singing helps you get your voice back, helps you feel like you're being heard, things like that. But so yeah, it's a constant struggle every day to take back our power. And after a while, it won't be a struggle anymore. You'll have won, and Of course, I'm not a doctor, so I can't really, say, oh, you'll just be great and dandy one day. Because I talk to women sometimes, and they said, yes, they're better than they ever been, and some people choose medicine routes, some people choose therapy, some people choose the self care that I say, and they still have problems. But I feel like it has a lot to do with your mentality, and being positive, and not and understanding that your life didn't end at that moment. Just a new one began. A lot of times I noticed that fear can form around your living as a being in this world. A lot of people don't understand that these instances can make you fearful of the world around you on a daily basis, just living your life. It can hinder you from taking risk, especially as far as dating, because now you can feel like every man or woman is like this. Now you fear that it could happen again, and that's understandable. But we have to understand that not everyone is like this. Not, and it's very easier said than done. um, and we have to understand we can't let this defeat us, basically. Um, and we can't let this paint a whole picture of how our life should play out. We can't accept this mediocre life just because something bad has happened to us. And again, it wasn't our fault. We have to understand every day that it's not our fault. I think if we start there, mostly, then our lives can start changing. Because a lot of victims or survivors, we blame ourselves, and until we stop doing that, then we can't grow. Um, I think the moment I realized that it wasn't my fault, that the person who did it to me is sick, then that's when I could uh, feel free. And again, I'm still working on myself, trying to do things that I feel will set me free, which is like traveling or whatever I feel like I want to do for the first time in my life. And again, distance yourself from your abuser. Never go back to your abuser. Never associate with the people who is protecting the abuser. If you're in a situation like that, never distance yourself from the whole situation. Because that's really harmful to you and your health and growing as an individual, and you'll never be happy. Not to mention that wound will be picked at every single day. That's a constant reminder of you every single day, which is very unfair, and very unfair for the people who are protecting that person. Um, a lot of what needs to happen in those cases where if it was someone close to you, distance yourself from those people. Doesn't matter how much you care about those people, because most at the end of the day, your health matters and your happiness matters, and you being able to grow and to become your greatest version matters. And it may it's no way that can be selfish. It can only help you, and the people who are, again, if they ever seem to be protecting your abuser, those aren't the people you want to be around. You can find a whole nother family, whole nother friends, and at the your biggest thing is you and you first. So if anyone is telling you to not put you first, then they are really the ones being selfish. Always remember that. And the people who love you will come along. Like, again, if you're surrounded by people who don't understand or who you feel like won't care, those aren't the people you need in your life. If you tend to come out about this situation and these people don't react how you need them to, leave them, people. You can find a therapist or people or friends or whatever who suit you and your needs in these trying times. Um, and again, remember that this doesn't end you as a person. This is only going to make you stronger. Um, but yeah, so that's my little 2 cents on that. And for all of the people who have been through that, you are worthy. You're valid. Your feelings are valid. You matter. It's not your fault. It's never your fault. And you have a chance to make a whole new life, to create a whole new version of yourself that you will come to love. But yeah, so if you ever have questions, you can email me. If it's too personal, to comment below, of course. If you think this was helpful, please share. If you have someone close to you, please nurture and care for them, and tell them that it's not their fault, and so forth. But hopefully I'll make more videos about this, you guys. Peace. Be dope, be you unapologetically. don't apologize for who you are ever. Um, be brave, be courageous. If you feel the need to speak out about your instances, your experiences as well, do so by all means. It can only help others. There might be some trolls, might be some people who are totally against you. Um, but at the end of the day, your happiness matters. And the fact that you can help people get through this. But yeah, you're needed at this time. Be dope, be you unapologetically. Peace.